All right, good evening, everyone. I see we have 6 persons on. It's 6:29 and I was hoping to begin exactly 6:30, but I noticed we don't have much of our parents on. I just sent a message in the groups just reminding them to log in so that we can begin. So I just would like to give them about 5 more minutes, so 6:35, so that we can give them a little opportunity to jump on the call. All right, so just 5 more minutes. I ask that you indulge me before we get started. Right, for everyone who just joined, I am just giving 5 minutes to allow some more parents and students to come on. So I just ask that you bear with me. I see persons are popping in. So promptly at 6:35, I will begin. All right, thank you.
So. I need you to put your hand on your neighbor's shoulder. Tell them there is grace for you. There is grace for the faithful. There is grace for the fall. God has given you grace for what you need. He's given grace for the future. He's given grace for the past. He's given grace to be first. There is grace. There is grace. Always grace for you. There is grace. There is grace. Always grace. Grace is different from mercy, but it doesn't accept you from pain. But still, there's no more shame. Grace makes you strong. Grace frees you from fear. It cuts through the clutter. Grace keeps you clear.
right, so as promised, it is 6:35 and we are recording. So I'm going to get started and persons will have to join in with us throughout this session. So let's open up in a word of prayer. Father, we thank you for the day. We thank you for strength. We thank you for your mercy. We thank you for your grace, oh Father. Lord, I bless you for being God. I bless you for being the head of our life, and we welcome you into this meeting. Now, God, anoint us afresh for such a time as this. Bless the parents that took the time out of their very busy schedules to be here for the sake of their children. Help those that may have forgotten to remember and speedily attend this meeting. Cover all of the teachers that are here. Equip us with the right words to say. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen. All right, so welcome everyone. All right, so I need some thumbs up for persons just to let me know that you can hear me clearly, you can see me. I just want to make sure before I get started. Okay, I see the thumbs up. Okay, good, we're ready to go. This is not your meeting. All right, so welcome. On behalf of Mr. Samuel and myself, I see he hasn't come on as yet. So in his absence, I would just like to welcome each and every one of you for being here. Staff members that are on the call, I appreciate your attendance. I know the parents appreciate your attendance. Parents that are here, listen, we are excited to see you because that tells me that you are heavily invested and involved in the push and the pull and the drive of making sure that your child makes it across that finish line of success here at Mount Carmel Preparatory Academy. So we take it not likely that you've taken this time out of your very busy schedule to be here with us just to hear what it is that we have to say. All right, so I will jump straight into it. And once I see Mr. Samuel pops in, I will have him come and greet you and give a little address from our principal. So there are three, I promise not to keep you long. I'm keeping this to an hour. I'm trying, so teachers that are on the call, we're keeping this to an hour, all right? We're basically going to cover three important areas for the students of grade 12 and grade 9. So this is a joint PTA meeting for both 12th and 9th grade parents and students. We thought it fitting to start the year off definitely with a bang and with our top scholars, because we understand and know that this is a very crucial year for both grade levels, okay? So the first thing I'm going to go over with you is academics. We just can go in. We're just going to go in. We're going to discuss preparations for national exams, our classes that we have, that we're offering and have available to students. If there are any coursework or anything that we have for various subjects, what is expected of our senior students in grade 9 and 12 as it relates to the national exams. And once we're done with all of that, then I want to go into graduation requirements. And I know some persons may say, well, Ms. B, I'm all the way in grade 9. How is that relevant for me? I'm glad that you even think to ask me that, because listen, it starts really from grade 7, but it starts at grade 9. Okay, and you will see parents as we are on this call at the information while we speak to 12th graders about certain things, it's still applicable to you at a grade 9 level. Okay, and then finally, I'm going to end with us discussing National High School Diploma information. I know you may have heard or seen the town meetings that are happening around the city in reference to this. And that's why it's important for our 9th grade parents to be on this call, because we want you to have that information from now and firsthand information. All right. So straight out the gate, let me address graduation concerns with 12th grade parents, we are not going to discuss graduation packages or anything like that. That's a separate meeting. All right. We're going to discuss the requirements required for them to graduate. All right. Because we can't get into all of the shirts, pictures, dates, and all these other things if certain requirements are not met. All right. So remember, our theme this year is we're hitting the target. We are hitting the target with no excuses, okay? So with the first one being academics, national exams. It is the expectation of administration, that once students sit in a classroom for a 3-year period, that they would, at the end of that 3-year period, sit the national exam. Okay, so I know in past times we had students who would come and say, Ms. Bethel, I'm not taking that exam. That's not the expectation this year. Okay, teachers would have invested time, they would have invested energy into students, preparing them to be a success. And we do not want to shortchange them. So parents, this is where we need your cooperation. This is where we need your push, okay? If students would have sat in a class from grade 7, grade 8, and now grade 9, and they're willing to, maybe if they're not confident enough in passing the exams, to come to the available classes, then why can't they sit the exams? We're about to begin registering in November for these exams. So it's only fitting that we discuss this and discuss it early. Okay, so it is our expectation and our hope that you as parents will help us push the kids in the direction to take these exams. We're not setting them up to fail, because we have well-equipped, well-trained teachers who are here to hold these children's hand throughout to get to the finish line, okay? So national exams, we really want to push our students to take these national exams once they have met certain requirements and once everyone is on the same page and they're ready to go. So national exams for BJCs are $5 per subject and a registration cost of $5. Okay, so it's $5 to register and then $5 for every subject that they take. BGCSE is $15 per subject. Okay, so please, if you need to write that down, remember BJC is $5 per subject plus a registration fee of $5, and BGCSE is $15. Okay, so I would have mentioned the after school classes. A schedule was sent home a while ago. If you need me to send it again, send me something in the chat so that I can know that I need to send that again, just to be sure that everyone has that information. 1 second, let me just make sure my chat is up and okay. So I have my chat up. Okay, so if I see more than 5 persons say, Ms. Bethel, send that schedule again, I will be sure to send that to the entire school. As a matter of fact, I think I will just send it again just to be on the safe side so that everyone can be well aware of what we have available for our students here at Mount Carmel. That's free of charge, free of charge. Okay, so please take advantage of what we are making available to you. Okay, now, a part of national exams is also coursework, all right? It's also coursework. So there are some subjects that require coursework before students sit the exams. I have good news for my BJC and BGCSE parents. We have already received our coursework, and we have already begun having discussions with our students as it relates to coursework, okay? This was done This week, I actually gave them out and we began having discussions and began preparing the children. So they have midterm next week, but that's not a time for them to relax. That's a time for them to work. Okay, that is a time for them to work because we've already gotten our coursework and we just want you to be aware that we have it, and they should have at least one question to do going home for the midterm. This is not, they had plenty breaks in grade 10, plenty breaks in grade 11, same thing for our ninth graders. They had breaks in grade 7 and grade 8. This is working time because we have a target that we must meet. Especially our ninth graders, we have a target that we must meet, and you will hear me later on get into exactly what those targets are. Okay, so coursework. Please ask your children if they receive their coursework. If you're not sure, if they're not sure and you're not sure, please contact myself or Mr. Samuel. I will be glad to let you know. I know social studies has a coursework for BJC. I know history has a coursework for BGCSE. Food and nutrition has a coursework. Religion, BGCSE has a coursework. Listen, we have work to do, okay? So examinations. For the ninth graders will sit exam regular time. They will not sit their exams, internal exams I'm referring to, internal exams. Now, let me make sure that we're clear. Internal examinations for grade 9 will be sat during the regular internal examination time. They will not sit their exams before the national exam, okay? This is where planning and structuring at home comes into play. For some, it may be a lot, but I believe that they can do it, okay? So in some instances, they will sit the national exam first and then their final term exam for summer after. BGCSE students will have the opportunity to sit their internal exams before their BGCSE. Okay, and I know some of you may be asking, well, why? Because we have to do our work to prepare for graduation, even whilst they are doing their national exam, so that we can have that data prepared and ready to purchase trophies, et cetera, for after national exams. So that's why the two are separate, okay? And ninth graders aren't graduating to go anywhere. They have time. They have time to get what they need done and to move on to the next grade level. But our seniors, we are waving so long bye-bye in a few short weeks to them, but never to leave our hearts, but definitely from the campus. All right, so I just wanted to provide some clarification on that, parents, so that you would know what to expect, all right? And now I'm going to go into graduation requirements. I'm going to go into graduation requirements. I think I would have covered everything as it relates to academics. Oh, parents, I need to remind you, please, homework, classwork, quizzes are very, very, very important. The minute this first term goes, that's it. That is it. That is it. Okay? It's going to move like clockwork. We will be in January, then February will come, and we're going to move like that. So I definitely need you to push your students. We have internal examination coming up in November. So please encourage them to study. Please encourage them to be focused. Please encourage them to have the target in their eyesight, to be prepared for what is coming. That's my thing. I need their minds to be focused. I need them to be prepared. And this is where the village comes in. That's us with home to get them prepared. All right. I shared with my committee members as we met to discuss some things about this school year. I said to them, I said, this is the group that started the pandemic, and this is the group that's ending the pandemic. All right, so we need to help them as much as we possibly can. And there's no, they cannot do it. Yes, they can. Yes, they can. Yeah, they have overcome many obstacles. No one can ever say that they went through their whole senior year through a pandemic. No one can ever say that, but this group can. And if they can overcome such a huge hurdle, listen, it's endless to what these children will be able to do. Okay, so let's encourage them. Let's help to keep them focused. If you hear me rowing in the WhatsApp group, that's because they're not focused. And I need them to stay on course. All right. So as you'll hear from our teachers, just to touch a little bit on their subjects and give some feedback, you'll hear from them just to get some insight on what's going on. I know we have open house next week. So you're going to see me sending some emails and sending flyers with some more information as it relates to that. I encourage you to come out and speak to these teachers one-on-one. You can take your notes tonight and say, okay, I need to see this teacher because he or she would have said X, Y, and Z, 1, 2, and 3. Take your notes so that when you meet at open house, you can discuss these things. That's a part of helping us to keep the kids focused, being aware of what's going on in the life of your child and in the school that you're paying a school fee to keep them focused. All right. So let's go into graduation requirements. I want to share my screen. I have a little clip. Just a little. Okay, 1 second. Okay, so let me share my screen. So the graduation requirement for Mount Carmel Preparatory Academy are as follows. This is not the national high school requirement. This is the requirement for us as an institution. I think my computer froze. Just give me 1 second. Oh, it started all over again. Hold on. Stop sharing. Okay, here we go. Okay, where did it go again? Okay, here we go. Okay, so graduation requirement. Let me move this out of my eye. Okay. Let me scroll down. Requirements for participating in Mount Carmel's graduation ceremony. All right. In addition to the above, which I will go into after, which is the National High School Diploma, students should attend all graduation practices and participate in graduation activities. Students must sit all registered examinations, including BGCSE, and if we did PSAT, SAT, ACT, and BJCs. Students should not have more than 5 excused absences during senior year. And on a side note, I personally met with my seniors and I said to them, I said, listen, I'm not saying that you won't get sick. It happens to the best of us. But if you can come to school, come to school. Come to school. You've already been through so much. Come to school, okay? 5 unexcused absences during the senior year. Excused absences should be accompanied by a medical from a reputable doctor/institution in alignment with the Bahamas High School Diploma. We must have, sorry, not that part. Students should not have exceeded serious behavioral problems or engage in immoral actions during senior year. That goes without saying because we have angels and we're not focusing on that. School fees. Please, parents, this part is crucial. School fees must be paid in full along with any associated graduation cost. Please, school fees must be paid in full before students can walk across that stage. There is no negotiation when it comes to this, okay? No negotiation. There's nothing that I can do. There's nothing that Mr. Samuel can do. That the rules are the rules, okay? So I definitely wanted to stress that part to you to ensure that we are all on one accord as it relates to that part, okay? So it's pretty much straightforward. As it relates to the graduation requirements, they should not have a lot of absences without letting us know what's going on. Fees must be paid. And all of this is in conjunction with what I'm about to get into as it relates to the National High School Diploma. So I understand, I attended the town hall meeting for the Ministry of Education, and some of the requirements are being revised, and I will definitely keep you posted and in the loop, but we're going to discuss what is the now. What is the standard now? Okay, so at least you will know what is the standard now to apply yourself, and if anything changes, I will definitely let you know and we will readjust accordingly. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen just to break down, and I pull this one straight from the ministry page so that you can say that we added this, and it's been around, I think, for 2016 or so. So most of you should be aware of what the National High School Diploma is, but for the sake of information, I will definitely share that with you. Okay, share. All right. So this is a brochure straight from the Ministry of Education, breaking down what the National High School Diploma is all about, okay? I'm gonna go a little slow, but I really wanna get to this bottom part right here. All right, right in the middle. Criteria to earn the Bahamas High School Diploma. Students must, and parents who are on this call for a child that's in the 9th grade, this is applicable to you as well. And now you will see why it is the expectation of administration and the board of directors from Mount Carmel Preparatory Academy to have your child sit in the national exam that they would have been in a class for the past 3 years. All right, we are not in the business of limiting our children. Attain 4 subjects in the Bahamas Junior Certificate examination, inclusive of math, language, science, and that is health or general, social science, social science, which is social studies or religious knowledge. All right. Let me repeat that again. These are the definite 4: math, language, a social science, which is religion or social studies, and a science, which is general or health science. Okay. So now you have an understanding as to why we encourage the student to sit both religion as well as social studies. If for whatever reason you fall short in religion, you have social studies as a backup. If for whatever reason you fall short in general science, you have health science as a backup. Okay, so we are not in the business of limiting our children, none whatsoever. All right, so that means they should be sitting math, they should be sitting language, they should be sitting general science, they should be sitting health science, they should be sitting religious knowledge, they should be sitting social studies. That's at least 6. That is at least 6, especially if they don't have any from sitting it in grade 8. Okay? So I just want to put that in your head. Our magic number for the night is 6 for my BJC parents. Okay? They must have a minimum of 27 credit hours over the time span of grade 10 to 12, meaning they should pass their various classes with at least a C and above, rather than a D or an F. And by the way, I want to add that the exams, the BJC exam should be a C and above. There are some, sorry, a D and above. There are exceptions for the D, but we don't like D's. We high scholars, we want to hit for C and above. Or like Mr. Pinto would say, I do A's. So I'm all for it. I'm all for it. All right, we'll make a little exception for a little C, but definitely we don't want the D. Okay, a minimum grade point average, and this is for both us as well as Ministry of Education, 2.0 cumulative. Now let me break down what a cumulative is. Please don't come graduation day and say, but Miss Battle, Mr. Samuel, I got a 2.16, so I got a 3.0 in December, and I've been getting A's, and based on GradeLink, I've seen where I average a 3 point on my GPA for this term. So how come, what's happening? What's happening? Listen, the cumulative is calculated from grade 10, whether it was 3 terms or 2 terms, grade 11, whether it was 3 terms or 2 terms, and grade 12, whether it was 3 terms or 2 terms. All of that is calculated, and it gives me a cumulative average to determine whether you graduate or not, because that average should be the minimum of a 2.0. Okay? I think that one was straightforward. 30 hours of community service. I require a little 40, a little extra oomph just in case, something goes wrong. I have gravy, so I require a little 40. I love giving back, and that's the Cavalier way. We are here in the community, and we're always willing to help. So definitely community service, we've put it out there. Mr. Samuel has said that, listen, we have ways to help them calculate some hours or count some hours right around the school. So you don't have to worry about dropping, picking off, et cetera, et cetera. And some of the students have been taking advantage of this in grade 12, as well as grade 11 and 9th grade students. You can feel free to join in. There's nothing wrong with community service, nothing wrong with giving back. All right. Also, we should have completed 20 hours of job readiness training. That is done in school, parents. So that's not anything for you to worry about. That's something you can check off of the list. Maintain a 90% or higher attendance and punctuality rate over the 3-year period of grade 10, 11, and 12. And also maintain a 90% punctuality level over the 3 years. Well, I said that in the first one, but I will repeat it again. Over the 3 years of grade 10, 11, and 12. What does that mean, Ms. Bethel? I'm glad that you are asking me these questions. If you do not have to be absent, if it is not an emergency, come to school. Come to school. Do not allow you wanting to be a little bit lazy today. I don't feel like getting up. I ain't feeling it today, mommy. Daddy, we ain't doing nothing in school. That's their famous line. And by the way, we always doing something. Even if we ain't doing nothing, we doing something. We do it. Someone talking, someone assigning some work, something is always being done. So when they give you that line, right off the top that is not true. We are always doing something. Okay? So please do not allow that to be a hindrance from you receiving a National High School diploma or being able to walk across our stage on graduation day. Okay? So this one is the last and final one, and it's applicable to tonight's event. Parent-teacher conference. All right, we normally count PTAs as a parent-teacher conference, but the good thing is it's calculated over the 3-year span, 10, 11, and 12. At least three should be attended by the 12th grade parent on behalf of their child. All right, so these are just some of the things. Again, I will repeat them. You must have the 4 required BJCs. You must have the allotted 27 credit hours. You must have a cumulative of 2.0 flat over the calculation of 3 years. You must have your community service. I should have had a little whiteout to just put a little 4 there, but you know, okay. But they must have the allotted community service hours, the 20 hours of job readiness training. They must have a 90% average of punctuality and attendance. And parents, you must attend at least 3 minimum parent-teacher conference over the span of 3 years, all right? So I will stop sharing that now. I wanna see, let me just see if Mr. Samuel is on. I hope that everything is okay with him. Okay, he's not on as yet because we're getting ready to wrap up. Okay, so one of his desires was to have our teachers just chime in on the conversation because I would have already finished the most important things. My main focus is getting them to the finish line successfully. That's my target. That is my target. Okay. So I didn't come tonight prepared to speak about the little things. We're looking at the bigger picture. Okay, we're looking at the bigger picture. So we would have covered academics. I would have given you dates for exams and what's to be expected as it relates to academics, what we have available to you. I would have discussed graduation requirements for my senior parents that are on tonight. I would have also discussed with you national high school diploma requirements because that is very crucial from the 9th grade going up. At least they would have an opportunity to sit the exam again in grade 10. But we are achievers, we are victors, we got this. So we are decreeing and declaring that our children will sit it and pass it. And they're gonna pass it with an excellent grade of an A or a B. You know, me like Mr. Pinto say, I don't do the C thing very well, but we decreeing and declaring that they are going to pass it and they're going to be successful in doing so. All right. So I am going to ask Mr. Pinto, I don't know if you're ready or Miss. Okay, I see he unmuted. He put his camera back on. So I'm going to ask you to start us off. Just introduce yourself to the parents for me. 1 second, let me unmute your mic. Just 5 minutes, sir. You got it? Okay, hold on. Let me allow you to, okay. Go ahead, Mr. Pinto. You can unmute yourself.
Yes, good evening. Good evening, parents, students, colleagues. Good evening to Ms. Bethel. I am responsible for 2 subjects for grade 9, that is general science and health science, and I'm responsible for physics for grade 12. Now, both national exams are 3-year comprehensive exams, 3 years. So for the BJC, grade 7, 8, and 9 work count. For the BGCSE physics exam, grades 10, 11, and 12 count. So it's virtually impossible for a child to sit down at home and study 3 years work. They're busy with coursework, homework, etc., projects. So teachers they hold extra classes, and I have been teaching extra classes for the past few weeks. I offer 2 sets of classes. Saturdays, I offer BGCSE classes from 10 to 11 and BJC classes from 11 to 12. For those of you for those students who have previous appointments like watching cartoons, etc., I teach after school on Mondays and Tuesdays for BGCSE and Thursdays and Fridays for BJC. So far, I'm not really pleased with the turnout, with the attendance. So it's a must that if they want to achieve an A or a B grade, which is what we want, they have to attend these classes. All right. And I'm offering Saturday and after school. All right. And on each day after school, they just have to stay half an hour, just half an hour. What we do is we practice past paper questions. Very, very important strategy in getting an A or a B. That way, when they go in the exam, they're used to the jargon, the wording of the questions, and the comprehension of the questions. All right, very important strategy, doing past papers. And all of my students have past papers. The BJC, the grade 9s have a booklet of past papers in health science and general science. And I'm about to give my grade 12s a package of past papers for themselves. So I must urge parents to allow their children or make some time for the children to either attend my Saturday class or my after school class. Please, it's a must. It's a 3-year comprehensive exam in both cases. And I don't think a child would be disciplined enough to sit down at home and study 3 years work. I know I'm not. So I would need help myself. So please, that's all I have to say. And I'm really not pleased with the attendance so far. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Pinto. And I'm glad that you brought up about the booklets, because from the beginning of the year, almost every subject, they have been pushing students to purchase the BJC, BGCSE booklets, because it's through practice, repetition, that students will retain. And I mean, sometimes they go into the exam and say, oh my God, Miss so-and-so, we did that in class. And I was able to answer because that question came back. That's all the national examination really is. It's just a recycling of questions, sometimes reworded a little different, but nonetheless, it's the same. So parents, please, as soon as teachers say, listen, we are going to begin using this, or they have already, ensure that your child has their copy. All right. I know some teachers use the past papers as grades. They use it in afternoon classes, etc. Remember, I said this is an opportunity for you to hear what teachers are saying. And so when open house comes, you can ask the necessary question. Okay, so Miss Brister, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Good evening, everybody. My name is Miss Deandra Ambrister, and I am the English language and literature teacher for grades 8 through, well, grade 8 is just language, but 9 through 12 is language and literature. And so Laz, echoing similar sentiments to what Mr. Pinto said, really at this point, we just need to make sure that students are practicing with the papers. So I will be offering additional classes for BJC literature on Mondays and Wednesdays at lunchtime. That's for grade 9. And then for BGCSE language and literature, those classes will be held on Saturdays virtually via Zoom. So I will be providing students with the meeting code, and we will start meeting this Saturday. So parents, if you have students in 12th grade, make sure that they tune in, like follow up with them. And I know Miss Bethel has started to put together the packets for the BGCSE language and literature, and she has those for sale. So if you haven't been able to secure a copy as yet for your student, for your child, please make sure you do so, because we are going to be practicing with those. Of course, if you have any questions or comments, you can reach out to me.
All right. And also, since she brought up reaching out, we also send the teachers emails so that you can reach out to them. I will resend that as well tonight. I will add that to my to-do list. I know I sent that out already, but I will just send it again in the WhatsApp groups, as well as I will send it via email, so that if you have a question, let's just say we end and you didn't get an opportunity to ask a question, you can feel free to shoot an email to a teacher before coming to the open house. All right. Hola, señorita. Well, it's Senora Thompson. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Good night, everyone. So you get my video on. Good night, everyone. My name is Mrs. Thompson. On campus, I'm known as Senora Thompson. I'm the Spanish teacher. With Spanish, of course, there's Spanish, BJC, and BGCSE. For BJC, we have reading comprehension, we have listening comprehension, and we have writing. For the BGCSE for Spanish, we have the same thing, but they have a conversation they'll be having with the instructor as well. This is my first year at Mount Carmel, and grade 12 students, the students that are taking Spanish, they are very intelligent. I'm very impressed with them. They're doing a great job. Grade 9 also, everyone does their assignments. They get wonderful grades. My expectation is that everyone would have their Spanish material with them. I think the office should have the Spanish BJC and BGCSE booklet as well. We're also doing after school classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 3:10 to 3:55, I think. And it coincides with some other activities. So I'm asking that if your student is interested, that they make an effort to show up to at least 2 weeks out of the month, and we could share, I guess, with the other clubs. Okay. That's about it. Thank you.
All right. And I just want to add to what she said. Normally, the speaking portion of Spanish is done in my office, and it's always very interesting to see the students and how they take on that challenge of having that conversation. I mean, it's a bit nerve-wracking, but we of course calm them down and everything. And once they get comfortable, they just flow. They flow, and you would think that they've lived in Cuba for a while. And it's just always interesting because we have to record them and then send it to the ministry. And it's always an interesting session for me. So definitely we want to encourage that bilingual second language, option to our students. So definitely push your kids, the ones that are in Spanish, to just take it head on. They can do it. So I think we have Miss Knowles Anastasia. Are you on?
Yes, I'm here. Good night, everybody. I hope everyone is doing well. Hold on, let me see if I could turn on my camera. Can you see me?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am. Okay, so I might be having some camera issues, but so yes, I am the art and craft teacher. As it stands, of course, well, the coursework has not been given to me as yet because it's not out as yet for art and craft. However, the students are currently doing some work to prepare themselves just so they can have an idea of what to expect when the exam comes, when the coursework comes out. So right now we just recently finished working with observational drawing, and we're now working in the area of interpretive study. Okay, and I am very happy to say that my students are doing a very, very, very good job with their work and stuff. A lot of them, they come and they devote their lunch period to coming in and completing assignments, and they're super excited about the assignment, especially when it comes to the paint. So yeah, they're doing really good. So I would just say that continue to encourage them and motivate them to put their best foot forward, and yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Knowles. So normally I have a story for every subject. So art is another interesting subject because watching, last year I had the opportunity to work with in the exam room and watch them and everything like that. And we had a young man, he actually built a life-size stool, you know, the bar stool. And watching them, one created a life-size guitar. This was the craft portion. And then we had a young lady, she's an artist, she draws. And watching them, you know, take their time to create these little pieces, it would blow your mind to see the level of imagination. Listen, let's not limit these children. Let's not limit these children, okay? They can do it. They can do it, and we believe in them, and we are pushing them. It's always very interesting around exam time to see them, and most times it's the one who say, I don't feel like I can do it. I don't feel like I can do it, that blow you out of the water. You know, so definitely. Ms. Gopal, I think this is you. Are you on? I think that's you. Are you able to unmute yourself? Let me see if I can. Okay, I can unmute you if you, are you there? Okay, so while I'm waiting for her, I see Mr. Blackman, but before I allow Mr. Blackman to speak, here's what I want to say about music. So for the past couple years, we've not had anyone enter the national exam as it relates to music. And we are really trying hard to build that culture at the school. And so I know I've been speaking to Mr. Blackman to identify, even if it's one, you know how they say in church, even if it's one soul, one. Heaven rejoices over one. And so right now we are in the process of building. I see your hand up, Ms. Gopal. I see your hand up. I don't know how to unmute you. I don't know, but yes, we are in the process of building that culture at Mount Carmel for music. But I really would want you to hear from Mr. Blackman in reference to the music department. And we're not just limiting it to the BGCSE examination. There are other options that are available. I don't know if he's able to speak to that tonight. I know I'm kind of putting him on the spot, but definitely if your child is in music, I admonish you to push them, because we are pushing them. We are trying to identify those students that are well capable and well able of sitting this national exam with the assistance of Mr. Blackman. And not just sitting the exam, but also learning instruments, learning from a minstrel. I think I said correct me, Mr. Blackman, when you unmute your mic. Minstrel of music himself, who has a wealth of knowledge and is willing to share. So Mr. Blackman, are you able to unmute your mic?
Yes, I am, but my video, I'm not able to unlock.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, good night, parents and fellow colleagues, Ms. Bethel and Mr. Samuels. Yes, the word is minstrel.
I got that. Yes,
you got it right. There is no BJC music national exam in the Bahamas. There is BJCSEs, but the music program is a 3-year program, and I have only been at the school for a year and some. So there's a lot more work for me to cover. But as Ms. Bethel mentioned, there are other options like the Royal School of Music exam that I believe I already identified a couple of students that could easily pass that. From grade 12, if it's okay to call some names, like Fletcher Manilas, Alejandro Winters, Brianna. I strongly believe that they are doing extremely well. I mean, the whole class, I'm pleased with the whole 12th grade class, to be honest with you. But those three specifically, I believe, could do well in music. Even if they had to continue, even after they leave Mount Carmel and pursue music, I would strongly recommend that. They're doing that well. As it relates to playing an instrument, because I only have so much time in a week and in a class to do theory, to do music history, to do instrument is kind of a lot. I have introduced the piano to most of them, and some of them are grasping it very well, but there's a long way to go. So yeah, that's where we are in music. I'm excited to work with them. Like I said, the grade 12s and the grade 9s are doing pretty well, but especially my grade 12s. I'm very pleased with them. So that's about it for music.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Blackman.
You're welcome.
Okay, I noticed I have to give you back your 5 minutes. I'm a stickler for time. I know I promised you an hour, but I noticed we have Mr. Hayes. I saw him. Mr. Hayes, are you there? I see some things happening over in the corner here. Mr. Hayes.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so I just want you to greet everyone this evening. I know you do keyboarding, so go ahead.
Yeah, good night, everyone. I don't have coursework per se, but I mean, we're just preparing your child or your children for the BGCSE and the BJC. So they know that we do have classes. I do have doing I believe, I'm not certain of the date or days, but we do have classes during lunchtime. So they know when to come, but I'm certain that they do know what they have to do for the BGCSE in keyboarding. But I mean, really, I don't have much to say. Maybe I think it's Tuesday, right? Isn't Tuesday open house? I think maybe if
Yes,
anyone needs to address anything, and then we can talk about it during that time. But right now, I don't have really much to say.
okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
Okay.
good night.
Thank you, Mr. Hayes, for your kind remarks. Ms. Gopal, I know you sent me a message. She can't seem to unmute her mic and her video, so I do apologize for that. Are there any other teachers that are on that I may have missed? Let me know. I don't want to.
My mic is all muted or it's still muted?
It's still muted. And I'm asking her to unmute, but I don't know what's happening.
No, I'm saying my mic.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're okay. I think you just muted. Okay, Miss Johnson. Okay, go ahead, Miss Johnson. Miss Johnson is new to the team. She's our business teacher. Are you able to unmute your mic? Okay.
Yes, I am. Good night, everybody. I am Miss Johnson, and I am responsible for business studies for 10 through 12. That's commerce and office procedures. Piggybacking pretty much on what everybody say, please just encourage the kids. I'm very pleased of the outcome so far, especially my 12th graders. They are overachievers. Now I have one or two of them saying they don't want to take one exam, they just want to take the next one. Parents, please encourage them to sit both. Office procedures is a coursework exam, so they do have to put in that extra time to complete the coursework, but it's preparing them for the world outside. Please, let's encourage them to keep up the good work and sit both exams. Put in that work to get the work done and do what they need to do to come out victorious. Thank you.
All righty, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Miss, sorry for the, finally got it.
Finally got it. Go ahead, Miss Gopal.
Uh, uh, hmm. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm sorry for the delay. I'm a little less knowledgeable with this, with the computers and my iPhones, and sorry for the delay. I just wanted to say the same thing what my colleagues have already said. Just want to inject a few things that as parents you could do for us. Make sure that your children make a study plan where they have daily what subjects they have to study, what topics to study. And if they have a plan, that's a definite path to success. And to read over and over. I keep telling them, even like you have 5 minutes, even 5 minutes or 10 minutes during the day, read something, even if it's one page. And you do read it every day or every so often, it comes easy. There's nothing to it. Just as Miss Bethel had said, repetition, repetition, repetition. That's all we have to do. Just repeat whatever you're doing, no matter how bad you are in some subject you think you are, no matter what the problems are. If you keep repeating the same thing over and over, it will come to them. And I have told them this often. There's nothing to it. No subject is impossible for them. It's just they have to repeat it. And I have been telling them this, and please encourage them to do so. Even if they have 5 minutes, even like sitting in the car when they're coming to school or going home, 5 minutes, read one page of whatever the subject is. And if they find something is challenging, write it down. Just copy the entire thing. Sometimes I ask them to do that, not as punishment, just sort of go back and remember what we have done in the class. Just rewrite it and everything comes back. And I'm sure of that. This is 100%, I'm telling you. Just have to repeat over and over. And just like we keep telling, at some point, it will hit them, but let it not be too late. Let them start from now, from today or from tomorrow. Make a study plan. Everybody should be having a study plan. I mean, I should have said this. I teach biology and chemistry. No matter what subject, all you have to do is read it. And I hope I'm not boring you all too much. It's the same thing what my colleagues have said. And if you have any questions or any doubts, you can come to me through the office and I will talk to you all. Thank you very much. Have a nice evening and wonderful teaching your kids. It has been really wonderful. And some of my grade 12s are really have it. They have the potential. That's why I'm so passionate about it. So please join us and encourage them. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gopal. I think that's all the teachers that we have on for tonight. Ms. Jackson sends her apologies. She had an emergency, but definitely she will be at the open house for you to speak to her in reference to math. Okay, and I do apologize for the absence of the other teachers that had some prior engagements to attend to. All right, so I don't know, the last 2 minutes, because 7:30 we are ending and we are ending strong. Does anyone have any questions for us? We're in a smaller forum, so I just want to extend the 2 minutes to have you ask any questions that you may have at this current moment. If we're all good, just give me some thumbs up. I know we gave you a lot of information, and you will see me throughout the school year repeating the same things over and over and over and over again. I'm seeing the thumbs up. We look like we're good. I got like 2 so far. Okay, we're good. We're good. Everything was clear. Everything was straightforward. Okay, and like we said, I will be sending. Okay, I'm seeing the thumb, so that means that we're good. Okay, so I'm going to send that information to you tonight. And also just be reminded, please, about the open house and also progress report. So you have to come and collect the progress report to see where your child is at this current moment, and then also to speak with the teachers one-on-one if you have any questions that may come after this meeting. All right, I do apologize for the absence of Mr. Samuel at this time. I hope that everything is okay. I'm going to call him as soon as I get off this call just to make sure everything is okay, because that's not like him. So I just want to thank you on behalf of the board of Mount Carmel, Mr. Samuel, my principal, myself, my teaching staff. Listen, I am just happy we regroup, we reload, and we hit the target of 7:35, 1 hour. We got everything done. And we were able to articulate that to you in a way that you were able to understand, and that meant so much to me. So until next time, thank you, and have a great evening, everyone.